Are you feeling dialed in this morning?
Kat, it's me. I'm always dialed in, and it's my duty to make sure you all are just as fired up.
Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to dial in. Welcome back to another episode on another beautiful Friday. I'm Collin O'Callahan.
I'm Ryan Curtin.
And today, we finally have the mock draft episode, but we couldn't just do it with the two of us. We needed another outstanding guest to join the show. And with that, I'm going to do the honors. Our special guest today comes from the cold, dark streets of Brooklyn, New York. He was a history major at Brandeis University in Waltham, Massachusetts, ironically, before ultimately deciding to become a play-by-play broadcaster. Folks, this man has done a lot. He's called games for the Peninsula Oilers for ESPN Radio in Alaska. He covered the Keene Swamp Bats in New Hampshire for ESPN Plus and the Keene Sentinel. He's also called games for the University of Chicago, St. Xavier University, Bentley University, St. Joseph's College, and even freaking MIT. Oh my God. He's now at Medill with a focus in sports media. He's the co-host of Infield Fly with Tommy Hodgkins. He's one of the many stars on the 303 Countdown. He's the loudest Jets fan you'll ever know. He's the biggest Swiftie on the planet, but that's beside the point. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the one, the only, Jonah White.
Thank you. I think Fireman Ed is the loudest Jets fan you'll ever know.
I don't even think so. I think you could be a lot louder than Fireman Ed, and that's saying a lot.
But
Welcome to the show.
My LinkedIn page was so comprehensive.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, when you're on Dialed In, you're going to get treated like royalty. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to be here. It's a long time overdue. I'm not going to lie, but it's great to be here. I'm dialed in.
Yes.
Yeah, when you said we had a special guest, I was going to say we had to settle for Jonah, but now I'm convinced. We got the right guy.
The Jets are effectively on the clock.
Oh, yeah, I
If
guess
you really
so.
think about it.
And we have a great coach, and I'm excited for football season.
Are you sure you have a great coach?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have a great quarterback?
No.
Hey, the Jets could take a quarterback in the first round, but we'll get into that. Folks, as I said earlier, the draft is a week away. Actually, it's 6 days away on Thursday night in Pittsburgh. Whether you're watching it on ESPN or the NFL Network, it's going to be one heck of a night because really after the first overall pick, it could be pretty unpredictable. At least this is one of the few draft classes where it's like you don't really know who could get picked.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talent that's, on the board. I mean, Jeremiah Love obviously is one of the best running back prospects we've had in the last few years, and he could go just about anywhere.
This is maybe the most exciting part of the draft is before the draft because you got all these mock drafts, but the real draft board is just one blank space.
I told you, this guy's the biggest Taylor Swift fan of Medill.
Yeah, Taylor Swift count. Should we get that going?
Yeah, I think we should. I'll put like a ticker on the bottom or something.
Okay.
So I don't think we should just waste any time. Let's start with the first round, and with that, the NFL draft is officially open. The Las Vegas Raiders with the first overall pick. Ryan, what do we think is going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this the last few weeks, and we know who's going to get picked first overall.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. Yeah, I mean, the Raiders need a quarterback. They, lost a crushing blow losing Geno Smith in the offseason. And, they got Kirk Cousins, but obviously not a long-term solution there. They need a quarterback.
Right.
And, I mean, who better to take than the guy who just came off of a Heisman season, a national championship season. I don't think he's going to be a star in the NFL per se, but I think he could be, and he is clearly the best quarterback on the board. So I think it would be very, very strange for the Raiders not to take Fernando Mendoza.
He might not
agree.
be a superstar, but in this draft, he's the one.
Pretty much. All right. I think we're all in agreement.
Agreement, Colin.
Agreement? All right. Jets are on the board. Second overall pick. You take this one. This is your team.
That's right. So my sources say
Your sources.
My sources say I was thinking Arvell Reese the whole time, but my sources recently informed me that David Bailey actually is the more likely pick at the moment for the Jets. Although, Colin, I don't know if in our mock draft are we allowed to trade down?
I mean, I won't I won't do any trades just because like we never know who could trade up or who could trade down. Plus,
Never
it doesn't
know.
allow me to like force a trade to happen on this thing. So
All right, so I guess it's David Bailey.
you think David Bailey? Okay.
That's what my sources say.
I mean, yeah, I could see that happen. To me, it's either Bailey or it's Arvell Reese because they want to boost up that defense.
Yeah, I hope that they, as a Jets fan, I hope that they trade down the pick. Honestly, no matter what they get, it's just a situation where the Jets have so many needs. I think that's possible.
Yeah.
But it's the second overall pick in this draft isn't as valuable as the second overall pick in a different draft, just because of who's there and who's not there. So it might not be possible.
Yeah.
I've read the comparisons between Arvell Reese and David Bailey. Theoretically, Arvell Reese has more upside and something, but we've got a morally upstanding coach, unlike some teams, and I'm going to trust his judgment on this one if he wants to go with David Bailey.
Yeah, and I think David Bailey is more of an edge rusher, and that's more of a need for the Jets. And I think David Bailey definitely fills that need. And like Arvell Reese, I think you could put him anywhere. But I think David Bailey, if you want some guy that's going to get to the quarterback in a hurry, it's going to be David.
We'd love that.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Be great. And they didn't have one last year.
All right, so the Cardinals are on the board with the third overall pick. I'll take this one. At first I thought, okay, they're probably gonna if the Jets do take David Bailey, then the Cardinals would probably go after Arvell Reese. But actually, I was thinking about it. The Cardinals don't really have a strong right tackle, and Francis Mauigoa, the guy out of Miami, he's like the best one in the draft, or at least the best offensive lineman. And I think like. Obviously, you don't really know who your quarterback is going to be. It's going to be either Jacoby Brissett or Gardner Minshew or somebody that they're probably going to draft later in like the third or fourth round or whatever. But I think like no matter what it was, that offensive line last year was a disaster. And I think like whoever's under center, they're going to need to make sure they have as much time in the pocket. So I'm going to go with him unless you two have different opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think if I were in the Cardinals situation, I would take Arvell Reese just because he is, as talented as they come. But, I mean, I think it's a good pick. They definitely do need a lot of help on that offensive line, trying to protect Jacoby Brissett, their franchise quarterback, apparently. So, yeah, I mean, I don't hate the pick at all. I think, I wouldn't call it a reach per se, but I think, like, the edge is just as big of a need for the Cardinals. And so I might have said Reese, but, I don't hate the pick.
Yep. Jonah, any thoughts?
Yeah, it works for me.
All right. Perfect enough. All right. Now the Titans, fourth overall.
Yeah.
Coach
Well,
They can go in a bunch of different directions. I'll give this one to you, Ryan.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think since he's still on the board and I've been, speaking so highly of him the last few rounds or last two picks, I'm going to take Arvell Reese.
Okay.
As the Titans GM, I will take Arvell Reese. And yeah, I mean, again, this guy, he can play linebacker, he can play edge rusher. Like, he really is like an X factor on defenses, and I think that the Titans need like both of those things really bad. They need a linebacker and they need an edge rusher.
Yeah.
They need a lot of help in general, but especially like
They need help everywhere.
they need help everywhere, but especially those two positions. Jeremiah Love is also a compelling pick just because Pollard's getting up there in age, and Tyjae Spears, he's been dealing with a lot of injury stuff lately. And that could really open up the Titans offense. But I think Arvell Reese is just like too all-around talented to not be taken fourth overall, excuse me. Yeah, so that's what I think the Titans would do in this situation, and I'm taking Arvell Reese.
I'll take it. And you got Robert Saleh as your head coach, so definitely want to get
Yeah.
a defensive guy on the board.
Jets legend.
All right.
Just ask Aaron Rodgers.
Literally. All right, Jonah, we got the other Jersey team on the board. Fifth overall. Who do you think the Giants are going to go with?
The New York Football Giants, otherwise known as New York's secondary NFL football team.
Behind the Bills.
Literally.
Behind the Jets, actually. Let's see. There's interesting discussion, Colin, to be had about premium positions versus non-premium positions. My sources have been talking about that all week long. And in terms of, how that rates in terms of who you're going to pick relative to who's going to be a star. Stars at certain positions are more valuable than others. Linebackers considered a non-premium position by, I don't know, whoever made this up. But I'm going with Sonny Styles nonetheless for a New York Football Giants team that is maybe fewer pieces away from contention than a lot of other bad teams from last year.
That's a good pick. I could see them do that.
Yeah,
because
I like
the Giants,
it too.
the Giants definitely need linebacker depth for sure. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I agree with that pick, too. I think you also could have made the argument they'd take Carnell Tate out of Ohio State. Just
We need to
because
save some wide receivers for 16.
yeah. For the third best New York football team. But no, I think, because, I mean, they lost Wan'Dale Robinson in the offseason. You have Malik Neighbors, but in terms of depth, like, that's really all you have as the Giants. So I think either one is a good pick. You needed both of them.
Yeah.
So might as well go with the guy on defense, just because I think that side of the ball needs a little bit more help than the offense. Right?
Defense wins championship.
I mean, that's why I was gonna say I thought the Giants could go with Caleb Downs here because they have a drastic need at safety, and you're gonna need like guys on the back end that will really help out. And more importantly, I mean, we were talking about this last week with John Harbaugh. I mean, the biggest thing with the Giants defense, or the biggest problem, is that like they have, tendencies to blow double-digit leads, and a lot of it is because of the issues in the secondary. So I think maybe Caleb Downs could help that. But I mean, I agree. I think it could be a defensive player. I mean, I don't know if I would go with a wide receiver at 5, just because like you do have Neighbors. I mean, I think like if you took someone like Omar Cooper in like the second round, you might have a better chance. But like I said, I don't think any one of these is a bad pick right now, unless it's like a huge reach.
For the record, Colin, if I had the football mind of Aaron Glenn, I was fortunate enough to be in his position, I would try and trade down a couple of picks and then pick Caleb Downs and stash away a later pick, because the Jets have a glaring need of safety, but apparently, according to the football people, you can't pick a safety at number 2.
You got Minka Fitzpatrick. You're all good, though.
And who? Tony Adams? I don't know Andre
I mean,
Cisco.
hey, there are going to be a lot of trades that'll happen in this draft. At least I hope so.
Yeah, are we going off the assumption there are no trades just to make it a little easier on ourselves?
I think the only reason why I say no trades is because like we don't know who could actually do it.
Right.
Because like one team could trade up, one could trade down, a player could be involved, so it's like you never really know what could actually happen. But
yeah, I agree. I think
let's
we're just gonna go off the board.
Absolutely. Let's transition to the Cleveland Browns. This one presents a few problems because the Browns just have too many holes to fill. They definitely need offensive linemen. I definitely think that this is where I think Carnell Tate is probably going to go. Do I think it's the biggest need for them? No. But knowing like the Haslams and knowing how like ownership tends to like get its hands on the draft, my biggest thing is that they're probably going to go with the sexy pick. Either that or actually no, they got Quinshon Judkins. I was going to say maybe Jeremiah Love, but I don't think the Browns really need a running back. So yeah, I'm going to go with Carnell Tate. I'm going to go with the BPA. Well, besides Jeremiah Love, the second best player available. All right. So
cool.
Now the Washington Commanders.
Yeah. I mean,
otherwise known as the Washington Football Team.
Yeah, formerly known as the Washington.
Right.
Formerly known as something else.
Yeah, not allowed to say that on the
Exactly.
Yeah, this is interesting. If Carnell Tate was still on the board, I definitely would have taken him. But there are a lot of ways that this team could go. Jeremiah Love could be an interesting pick. They love the run offense there.
Yeah.
They got a lot of guys that he can learn from and build off of over there. Reuben Baines on the board. Caleb Downs is there. I'm gonna say, what's the biggest need you think? Maybe I'll ask the panel here.
I think Washington has got Bill Krosky-Merritt, but also Austin Eckler is not getting any younger. And more importantly, like for the wide receiver, it's like you need somebody younger to like help out Terry. So I could see what you're going with. But also like with Dan Quinn, like that defense was just an absolute mess. So you can really go either way with this one.
Yeah, there are a lot of different ways I could go with this pick. I'm gonna say that the Washington Commanders, aka the Washington Football Team, I'm gonna say they take Caleb Downs here. I think he has the talent to even go earlier in the draft. I know some people doing mock drafts have him going to the Giants at 5. And yeah, I mean, I think, he's really a complete safety. He can play tight man-on-man coverage, good in zone. Like, I think he really can sort of unlock this Commanders defense that, as you said, was lacking last year. And,
yep.
I think it's a good fit. They need a safety, and, he's the best one on the board.
What do you think, Jonah?
Yeah, I was hoping he'd fall at to the number 16.
Yeah, we know.
But, yeah, I think safety's an underappreciated position. You know what I don't like, though, Colin?
What?
10 years ago, safeties were way cooler because they could play football.
Yeah.
They don't let them play football anymore. And that bothers me, Colin.
Wow.
That really bothers me that the safeties can't play football anymore.
Explain.
You just
Yeah,
got
I
to
was
say
gonna
that.
say.
Because back in the day, the receivers coming across the middle. You got a safety. You got Ed Reed, Eric Reed, Kerry Rhodes.
Okay.
Somebody coming across the middle. Boom! Football.
Yeah.
You take them out. The ball jars loose. Everybody celebrates. It's a huge play. Sean Taylor. It's a huge, big play. And you can't do that anymore. Now it's all flag, defenseless receiver, blah, blah, blah. And it really annoys me. So I feel for Caleb Downs, who's coming into the league. Obviously, it's still an important position, but he's coming into the league at an unfortunate time for his position. And an unfortunate time as a fan.
That was the most
Okay.
New York I think I've ever heard you. You know what I got a problem
so
with?
true.
I got a problem with safeties not being able to play football.
I do.
Yeah.
I got a problem with people not being able to hit on the damn football field.
That's right.
Damn.
I'm walking here.
And more importantly, I mean, they did have better hair too, and I'm thinking about Troy Polamalu,
Of
obviously.
course. I mean, so many iconic legendary safeties, and you just don't get that anymore. And I think the reason why is they're just so restricted. You can't hit him high, low, when he has the ball, when he doesn't have the ball.
Right.
It's nonsense. I want to go back to football.
I agree, but I mean, there's not really much we can do to change that, unfortunately. But it's like, I don't think physicality's been completely taken out, but you're right. It's not the same. And you could say the same thing with basketball and hockey. But anyways, speaking of which, the 8th overall pick, the New Orleans Saints on the board.
Yeah,
Jonah.
I'm looking at their my sources have them taking a cornerback, and I'm looking at their cornerback room.
Cornerback.
Colin, it's my turn. And I'm looking at their cornerback room, and they got a bunch of players with low numbers next to them on a salary cap tracker. I think low numbers are bad.
Generally,
And
yeah.
there's 6-7 cornerbacks, and I've heard of only one of them. That'd be Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Uh-huh.
And so I think they probably need another cornerback to play alongside Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Okay.
So I think to play opposite Kool-Aid McKinstry for the Saints, Kool-Aid McKinstry's partner should be Mansour Delane, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's an interesting choice. And
All name teams.
That's
for the
right.
defensive side of the ball for the Saints.
I mean, that's an interesting.
How did he get his name, Kool-Aid McKinstry?
You know, with the Saints, it's like you could really go either way here. I mean, you could take a wide receiver because you need someone to help out Chris Olave. They could use an edge rusher, maybe someone like Ruben Bain, who's still on the board, or C.J. Allen, because they lost a lot of their defensive or a lot of their older defensive players. But yeah, I think Mansour Delane could be an interesting choice.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, again, a very dynamic guy on defense, and you're right. The Saints need a lot of help.
Yeah. All right. Now the Chiefs, they got the 9th pick. I've seen rumors that say that, if Jeremiah Love is on the board, they're going to take it, but they signed Kenneth Walker to a big deal, so I don't know if they're going to do that. Honestly, I think this is where they get Ruben Bain Jr. because they definitely need defensive help, like, badly. They lost so many guys in the secondary. They lost a few key guys in their pass rush. Chris Jones, he's definitely not getting any younger, and you're going to need someone to help out him and Karlaftis. I know that, there was an incident that stemmed, a couple years ago that might impact his stock, but I think, like, him going to the Chiefs, I think he'll be in a pretty good situation. Andy Reid will definitely hold him accountable, and it's I mean, you can't really, and when you're around like a core championship core, then I think it's like I don't think like anything else would happen, or at least I hope not. So
I'll tell you what, if I was part of the draft, I would want to be drafted by the Chiefs.
Yeah, they're building a good and scary team over there. Again.
And you'd have the chance to meet Taylor Swift.
yeah, that is true. I mean, if I was drafted by the Bills, I get to ask Haley Steinfeld about Sinners. So at least there's that. All right, so now the Bengals are on the board with the 10th overall pick. What do we got here, Ryan?
Yeah.
The Jets beat the Bengals last year, by the way.
Yes, they did. So did the Patriots, but I'm not gloating
for
about
you.
that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is interesting. I mean, Jeremiah Love's still on the board, but I don't think that's a big need for the Bengals right now. I mean, I think the thing that's standing out to me right now, they need an offensive line. I mean, obviously they need help on defense too, but I think the best player that's still on the board at least that I can see, that is a team need for them, is Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle from Georgia.
James Monroe?
I think that, I think Joe Burrow needs a lot of help. He's been dealing with injuries the last couple years, or at least this year especially, and, that cost them a lot of games this year, including one against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if they, have guys that can protect Joe Burrow and keep him healthy, then, who cares if they don't have a defense? He's done it before without a defense, and I think he'd be a good fit for this team.
Yeah. I was going to say, if Delane, whatever, if he's still on the board, then I think that's who the Bengals should take because they need secondary. But you're right. I mean, Joe Burrow, the injuries keep piling up. Like, half of his career has been on the injury report. And if you don't find any way to, protect him, then they're going to ruin his career. So I like your perspective there. All right, Jonah, the Miami Dolphins with the 11th pick. What are your sources telling you?
Yeah, first I've got a question, Colin. Is there a document where I can see who's been picked in our mock draft yet? Because I'm trying to keep track in my head.
Yeah, I'm screen recording this, and then Ryan's got his on his computer.
I got mine over
so,
here too.
what players do you think are available that we have already talked about?
I'm just gonna have to guess.
Yeah, I can run down the list real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Fernando Mendoza, David Bailey, Francis Mayoga, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Carnell Tate, Caleb Downs, Mansour Delane, Ruben Bain, and Monroe Freeling.
Okay, yeah. I was going to pick Carnell Tate, but apparently that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, in this case, let's see. There's a lot of choices. And I tell you what, if I was a player, I would not want my name to be called at this particular moment.
Ooh.
Yeah, they got to play against the Jets twice a year,
They
Jonah.
do have to play against the Jets twice a year. That's why. So let's see. For the Dolphins, I'm going to go with a little bit of offensive line help.
Interesting.
And let's see if I can pronounce this guy's name.
Is it the Penn State guy? Oliva Vega Ione.
Close.
I think that's how it is.
Yeah.
I would
That
hope
sounds
so.
better.
That's who I'm going to pick.
It's a good
for,
pick.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because they definitely need interior O-line help, especially with Malik Willis. But I honestly I figured they would go with a wide receiver here too because they lost Jalen Waddle, they lost Tyreek Hill. You definitely need receiver help, and more importantly, the only quality offensive skill position player you've got is Achane. So, but yeah, I think you start in the trenches and you just work your way from there.
It's all about the trenches.
Mm-hmm. All right, the Dallas Cowboys with the 12th overall pick.
Ooh.
Okay, so they need defense badly. Dylan Theinman is still on the board. Jermod McCoy, he is definitely a high risk, high reward because he is coming off a torn ACL. But they definitely need a lot of corners because Deron Bland's the only decent one that they have. They do have another one. They got the 20th pick, and it was because of the Micah Parsons trade.
Mm-hmm.
So if CJ Allen's still on the board, they could get him. But you know what? I'm gonna go with McCoy. I'm gonna go with the corner. I mean, he definitely has a long way to go when it comes to his development, but I think, for a Dallas secondary that was absolutely atrocious last year, they need just somebody there to pick up the slack.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's good takes all around.
Absolutely. All right, now the Rams with the 13th pick.
Yeah, this is interesting because this is a team that doesn't really need a whole lot in terms of there's an obvious hole there, especially since they got McDuffie in the offseason to, help their secondary a little bit more. I think, my sources are telling me that, I think they need some depth in the wide receiver position. They have Puka and, Devontae Adams is getting up there in age. But other than that, who else can you really turn to on that team? Right. And I think you got some really great options here at wide receiver. They could go one of two ways, I think. So, basically throwing a dart here, I'm going to say they take Makai Lemon. Makai
Lemon. All right.
13th overall. Yeah, I know. I think him and Jordan Tyson are both very similar, pretty sure hands, very quick route runners, and both of them can really help out this Rams offense and give Matthew Stafford another guy to throw the ball to. And I think that's scary, giving Matthew Stafford another target like that, but I don't know where else they'd go here. They don't really need a running back. They got two great running backs already.
No.
Jeremiah Love's still on the board, by the way. He might go to the Jets, Jonah.
He could. I mean, Brees Hall is on the franchise tag, so if Jeremiah Love's on the board, they'd be like, let's screw it. Let's trade Brees for like a 5th.
Wow, my sources have him at the second best player in the draft.
Yeah, I feel like he's slipping
That's
a
pretty
little
interesting. Okay, well, you know what? That's interesting. I think that it's good to spice up our mock draft and make it a little bit different than the rest of the mock
Absolutely.
drafts.
bit. Yeah.
You know, what if he trips and falls the day of the draft? Then maybe, maybe we'll have the best draft.
Do you really want to see that, though?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Definitely not. Only if he's already been drafted by the Patriots.
Yeah, if he like trips walking onto the stage or something.
Oh, my.
I don't want him to get hurt, but I just think
If they announced his name and then he tripped and fell and broke his face on the stage, would that still count as a draft pick for that team?
Yeah, I think it's
Oh
too
my
late.
gosh.
Too little, too late. Well, I guess he didn't sign the contract yet, but
No.
I don't think any other team would draft him.
I think once it gets announced, I think that would be
Kind of set in
unfortunate.
stone.
Whoever drafted it. All right, so we're on the
We're on Baltimore.
Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Wow. You ever watch The Wire? It's my favorite show.
I haven't seen The Wire.
I've not seen The Wire.
I want to see The Wire.
Yeah.
I've heard it's very riveting.
It's my favorite show. It's a good show. All right, so the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see. We got they don't need running back, so I can't go with Jeremiah Love.
No.
Unfortunately, let's see. They do need a receiver, but we've already had a little bit of a run on wide receivers in our mock draft. So I think if they were to get another one, they'd have to reach down a little bit.
Not necessarily.
I mean, Jordan Tyson's still available.
Well, my sources have him a little bit lower.
Okay.
Interesting.
Let's see. What are
Just
the
really want him to go to the Jets.
offensive line? We could be a need. Let's see where they who we have available at the offensive line positions. Well, we already picked James Monroe. So how about this is a tough one. I'll go with Jordan Tyson.
Jordan Tyson.
I think that's
Okay.
the right pick. I
Thank
think
you.
That's, yeah.
Took a lot of thought, but I think I got it in under the clock.
I mean, you do need someone to like complement Zay Flowers because Rashad Bateman, I mean, after signing that extension, hasn't really lived up to it. So, I mean, if the Penn State guard is available, I think they could take him too because they definitely need interior help. But, with Jesse Minter there, you're pretty much taking over already a playoff caliber roster. You just need to like fix a couple leaks.
I think I put a little bit of a wrench in the draft by taking Olaiva Vega
it's okay.
earlier.
Hey, that's what mock drafts are. It's
Yeah.
expect the unexpected.
That's
Right.
right.
All right, Tampa Bay with the 15th pick.
Oh, I got to get ready.
I think they could really go either way here. I mean, I don't think they really need too much help when it comes to their offensive line because it's been a stable unit for the most part. They definitely don't
Carried
need.
Tom Brady to a Super Bowl.
No, he helped them win a Super Bowl, but we'll get into that later. They definitely don't need running back help. I don't think they need receiver help because you have Godwin and Ibuka. Defensively, I mean, you could possibly go with a linebacker to help out Levante David, but you already signed, Alex Anzalone and Christian Roseboom. I think secondary-wise, it's not completely terrible. I mean, the best corner that I see available is Avion Terrell, and it's not expected to fall until like late in the first round. But I think Kenyon Sadiq could be an interesting choice here because, I like Cade Otton, but he's not really exactly like a tight end one per se. I mean, he's not terrible, but I don't think he's great. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. You know what? I'll actually open it up to the panel. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, this is an interesting pick. I think that I think that's probably the right pick, honestly, unless they go a little bit lower and take an edge rusher in Keldrick Falk out of Auburn, because I think I don't know. Like I said, I think that the Bucs are a pretty well-rounded team in general. I think maybe adding a little bit extra help on the edge there would give them a big boost going into.
They got
the season,
Messidor, the Miami guy. He's still available.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jonah?
I'm so focused on the next pick, I'm not paying attention, to be honest with you.
I'm not surprised. For Tampa.
For Tampa. Who's their running back? Oh, it's Egbuka.
It's Bucky. Running back is Bucky Irving.
Egbuka is the tight end.
Egbuka's a wide receiver.
Close enough. All right, so Bucky Irving. Yeah, he's a serviceable running back. So you can't take Love. I was focusing on the 16th pick. So, I don't know.
Okay, let's go with Sadiq and let's just go from there. unless there are any objections.
I had no objections.
No objections.
Okay.
It's time.
All right,
Yeah.
Jonah.
It's actually my turn.
Whoa.
It technically is, but actually, you know what?
I was gonna
Let's
say,
see what Ryan has to say, and let's see if Jonah agrees with it.
No, I was gonna say, in honor of draft night trades, I will defer my pick to Joe.
I'll trade you the next. I'll trade you the next
Yeah,
two
no,
picks.
I was gonna say no.
I'll trade you 17 at the Lions, and I'll trade you 20 for 16. That's a pretty good deal.
That is a pretty good deal. No, I'll even be nice.
I don't want
I'll
to pick for the Browns.
Shoot.
Okay.
So you
Well,
can-
I mean, it's
I'll-
the Cowboys anyway.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay,
it's-
go
yeah,
ahead.
they
Go
got
ahead,
it.
Jonah.
This is
Go
my
ahead,
source.
Jonah.
I was gonna say, do we need to do rock paper scissors? or
No.
something?
I want Joe to.
The Jets. It's been thought about. Put a lot of thought into this one.
Alrighty.
It's an interesting situation because the Jets have a need pretty much everywhere on the field, except for punter and Thomas Hennessy's a solid long snapper, so we don't need to draft one of those.
Ty Simpson.
No, I don't. It's my personal opinion. I don't think we're gonna. I don't want, and I don't think we're gonna
You
draft.
really
Ty
think they're
Simpson.
not going to take a quarterback?
Well, that's an interesting discussion. I think that you have two sides. You have the Jets organization and from a fan, and then you've got Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. Because if the Jets shouldn't, as a fan, the Jets shouldn't be in win now mode this year. Obviously, they're not going to. But if they're not, they'll probably win 3 games again. And then you have Glenn and Muji having won 6 games in 2 seasons and probably on their way out the door. So it's an interesting kind of contrast where you've got the organization's best interest going in one direction and the coach and the GM's best interest very likely going in the opposite direction of trying to be a little bit more aggressive. And that
good
would
point.
point towards Ty Simpson. Meanwhile, you got an owner who's a loose cannon. So it's just kind of, perennial disaster.
All right, so where are they going here?
Anyway. So we're thinking a wide receiver, but there's already been a little bit of a run on wide receiver. I believe, is Keldrick Falk still available?
Yes.
So we've also that would be another edge rusher, although I think that would kind of make sense. What about Jermod McCoy? We still have him available? No.
We have him going to Dallas.
My apologies. Wow. So it's another.
There's Denzel Boston. There's a Mark Hooper Jr.
Reaching down that far. I'm going to go with, I think with Keldrick Falk. I'm going to go with another edge rusher.
Okay.
I think the
Nice.
Jets could start getting to the quarterback a little bit, maybe force some balls out early and get some interception this year.
I can see that.
Yeah, improve on their totals from last year.
Absolutely.
So I'm going with 2 edge rushers in the first round for the Jets. I'd be excited about that.
All right. Yeah. I figured you were going to go with the safety with Dylan Theinman because you did say yourself they need safety help. But
Yeah, but I forgot they signed Minkah Fitzpatrick.
yeah. All right. The Detroit Lions with the 17th pick. You want to take this, Ryan?
Yeah, we'll honor the trade here. I
Fired in
think
the trade.
Yeah, because you took the edge rusher the last pick, I think that makes this next pick pretty easy. You got quite a few good offensive tackles still on the board, and
Yep.
that was a big need after last year. I mean, this team had one of the best offensive lines in football just a couple years ago, but really all of a sudden it seems like that's one of the biggest needs for them. And again, you got a few guys on the board. Again, you can sort of throw a dart. So I'm gonna say they take Caden Proctor here out of Alabama, and
All right.
again, I don't know necessarily what he brings to the table more so than Spencer Fano and Caleb Lumu, but it seems like at least in a few mock drafts they have him going a little bit earlier than some of the other guys that are still on the board, Fano and Lomu, but both guys went to Utah, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think they could go either way, but if this is the board that's left, I think they definitely take an offensive tackle. Which one specifically, I don't know for sure. I'm unfortunately not an expert on offensive tackles.
Either
but
way, they need O-line.
they need
help.
O-line, and
Can't have too many offensive tackles.
it's true. Like that
Well,
position
Taylor
gets hurt all
Decker's
the
gone.
time. Yeah, Taylor Decker's gone. That position gets hurt a lot. They saw that last year, and so yeah, need an offensive tackle. They got Caden Proctor.
I agree. Okay, so now the Minnesota Vikings are at 18. This is where they get Jeremiah Love because
That's crazy that he fell to 18.
I know. It could happen possibly because
Who knows? Anything could happen.
I mean it is running back. It is a risky position, but
Jets
I
could
mean,
win the Super Bowl.
listen, Aaron Jones is not getting any younger. They were planning to let him go, but they ended up bringing him back on like an adjusted contract. And I can't remember if they let Jordan Mason walk or whatever, but last year he didn't really quite live up to the RB2 role. But I think for the future to shore up that ground game and to, give Kyler Murray or JJ McCarthy, whoever the quarterback is, like, take the pressure off, I think, Jeremiah Love could definitely bring that to Kevin O'Connell's offense. So
Yeah, Jordan Mason is still on the Vikings, by the way, but I completely agree. I think.
yeah,
Like, you much rather have Jeremiah Love as an RB2, maybe even an RB1A or 1B over Jordan Mason.
The Vikings are an interesting situation because most of their roster would be good enough to contend, but they don't have a
Yes.
quarterback. So
right.
maybe through
Kyler Murray.
an elite run game,
Yeah.
that could be a path toward contending with the mediocre. Obviously, the Patriots made a Super Bowl with a mediocre quarterback, so it could be done.
Wow.
Oh gosh. Wow. I mean, at least I know what it's like. At least I know what it's like to see my team in a Super Bowl. Just saying. But
They got smoked.
it's actually kind of, who would have ever thought that letting Sam Darnold walk in free agency would set back this organization? Seriously, I mean, the Vikings, they had a 9-8 record, but it wasn't great when it came to the quarterback situation. And meanwhile, Darnold went to freaking Super Bowl with the Seahawks.
Went to, and then he kicked the Patriots' butt.
Yeah, I know. It's a full Cinderella story. It really is. All right, Jonah, the Carolina Panthers are on the board.
This is Ryan's
We're
pick.
going back to me.
Or go back to
Yeah,
you.
we can go back.
Okay.
We can go back to the circle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had a little pick swap before.
Right.
All right, take this one.
Yeah, and this is good because then I get the Chargers at 22.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no, I think that offensive tackle is what's on the board, but that's not really a big need for the Panthers right now. And they're actually, one of their big needs right now is a safety, and it looks like they got a pretty good one still on the board in Dylan Theineman out of Oregon. I think, honestly, again, I'm not an expert when it comes to picks, 20 through 250 certainly.
Right.
But no, I mean, again, I think it certainly is a big need for the Panthers right now. He's the second best safety that's still on the board. Again, very dynamic. I think you can put him most places on the field based on what I've heard about him. And, I think for a defense that's putting a lot of pieces together and really trying to contend in the NFC, I think he'd be a great addition to that defense for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the Panthers, they could possibly trade down if they don't get the guy they want. So, or they could trade up to get the guy they want. Who knows? That's the beauty of it. All right. Now the Dallas Cowboys, they're back at 20. What do we think, Jonah?
My sources say that the Cowboys might consider trading down. Potentially, they got this pick from the Packers for Micah Parsons.
Yes.
Trade, but their second round pick is actually owned by somebody else.
Oh my gosh.
So it could be a valuable pick, but they don't have it. And it would make sense if they want to trade down and try and recoup a little bit of that what they lost. They don't have a ton of cornerbacks, I'm being told. Deron Bland, I think, is the guy.
They
that
do have C.J. Allen. He's
I've
the best defensive player that's on the board.
heard of C.J. Allen. That's not what my sources say. C.J. Allen. Where's let's see if we can find that. I don't see him on my sources. So I'm gonna go with former Tennessee Titans legend at running back Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson? Where the heck is that?
He's from San Diego State.
Oh, San
Where's
Diego
it?
State,
Oh,
go Aztecs.
oh, we're going right. We're going down the board.
Not
okay.
on my board.
Wow. All right. You know what? They draft two corners. Let's do it.
Oh, they
Yeah.
already drafted a corner?
They drafted a corner. They drafted
Wow.
Jermon McCoy.
I don't know.
Do you want to change your mind?
Yeah, I'll change my mind.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a mulligan. All right. Let's see. You want to help me out a little bit?
I said C.J. Allen because they definitely need linebacker depth. I mean, like I said, defense is definitely their biggest need. So yeah, that's who I was going to go with.
C.J.
What do you
Allen,
think, Ryan?
That's too far down on my board. I'm gonna veto that. And
Oh,
I'm gonna
wow.
Veto it. Okay.
Well, yeah, you asked for our help. and
Yeah,
now
you
did
Now
ask.
he doesn't need our
So
help.
there's C.J. Allen. There's Akeem Messidor from Miami. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the
We'll
safety
go
from
with,
Toledo.
Akeem Mesidor.
Okay.
Team Mesidor.
Messidor. They definitely need edge rush help. Honestly, if he's still on the board, I wouldn't be mad if they
To
took him.
play alongside
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams. Mm-hmm. How about that?
All right, Pittsburgh is on the board now at 21. I'm going to be quite frank. I mean, here's the thing. You could get Ty Simpson there because, I mean, if you're really going to play the waiting game for Aaron Rodgers, then that's just too desperate and too sad.
What are you talking about? They have Aaron Rodgers. Why
They
would
don't
take a
know if he's coming
Yeah,
back.
we actually don't know if he's going to come
I
back.
thought they knew that.
No.
He better come back.
well-
Otherwise, why would I watch football?
Well, I don't know. I watch good teams. actually quarterbacks that actually, can lead a team to a Super Bowl. But anyways, offensive line, I think, listen, Blake Miller, I think they could definitely, give Broderick Jones some competition. Also, Broderick Jones is dealing with a neck injury, so I think that's got to come into play here. I don't think the Steelers really need a running back, and I don't think they need too much interior line help because it's a little bit of a bigger reach. But you know what? I'm gonna say that the Steelers, they're just gonna take Ty Simpson. I'm gonna go with the bold choice here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Chargers.
Here we go.
We go.
Let's see, Ryan. What do you got?
We actually have some pretty good options
I
here
would say
still
the
on
Chargers.
the board.
I can make a suggestion.
Yeah, go ahead.
All due respect, I think the Chargers should draft some fans.
There you go. You said you were gonna get one on.
What do you mean they got the fan?
They got the super fan.
They got
right
the
here.
super fan.
But
Right.
another friend would be nice. Another friend would be very nice. Yeah, no, I mean, I think there's a lot of talent still on the board. It's interesting because you have two offensive tackles, Spencer Fano and Caleb Lomu, both at Utah, but they need an offensive guard. I don't know, necessarily if these guys are moldable in that way to move from tackle to guard. They're not quite the same position, obviously. They do also need a defensive tackle, and Peter Woods is still on the board. A lot of mock drafts have him going to the Chargers as well. But you know what? I'm going to say they take Spencer Fano anyway. I think that...
Even with Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt.
Even with Rashawn Slater. I think that you can, I think if you give one of these guys an offseason, you can figure it out. I think they need so much help on the offensive line. I saw it every game last year. Most of you guys saw it, just in the primetime games and the playoff game. And Justin Herbert needs as much help on the offensive line as possible.
Playoff game was ugly.
It was very ugly. I agree.
Yeah,
and
it was good for me.
Well, it was still pretty ugly for you guys too. Truthfully,
Yeah,
but you still got the win. But anyway, I just think that any help on the offensive line is needed, and you have some great options that are here on the board. So I think they take Spencer Fano.
Okay.
At offensive line. I'm sure they're not going to have him start over Joe Alt or Rashawn Slater, but I think that there is definitely going to be some movement on the O-line, and I think that even if he hasn't played guard, I think he'd be a step up from the current options right now of Zion Johnson and I guess not Bradley Bozeman anymore. But
I was gonna say you got to replace that guy.
yeah, there aren't any really good centers that are on the board right now. So
all right, Spencer Fano. All right, Philadelphia with the 23rd pick, Mr. Jonah White.
This is an interesting one. Caden Proctor was picked already, right?
Yes, we did.
But we
Let's
do have
see.
an offensive tackle still on the board.
Yep.
That would be
Caleb Lomu.
And Blake Miller.
Yeah,
Caleb
I'm torn
Lomu.
between Caleb Lomu and Dylan Thieneman, who hasn't. I don't
No,
believe.
Dylan Thieneman, we
Thieneman's
picked
taken.
him.
Yeah, we
See,
took him.
I got to pay more attention. All right. I guess I'll have to go with Caleb Lomu.
Back-to-back
Okay.
Utah tackles off the board.
Yes. You do need a Lane Johnson. You do need a Lane Johnson replacement eventually, and you got to think ahead here. All right, now the Browns are back at 24. Honestly, I think this is where they get Blake Miller because they need. I mean, I obviously know that they got Titus Howard in a trade, but you're gonna need to make sure that whoever's at quarterback just doesn't get destroyed again. So, yeah, I think this is where they go all line here. All right, now we got the Bears.
The Bears.
At 25.
Yeah, again, some pretty compelling options on the board for the Bears. Yeah, I mean, their biggest need right now, I think they still need more help on the defensive side of the ball. There are a lot of different ways we could go, but I don't think there's been a defensive tackle taken all draft yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So, I mean, and you got obviously the best one on the board in Peter Woods.
All right.
And I almost took him as the Chargers GM, but now that I've been traded to the Bears to be GM, I'm gladly going to take him here. I think, again, he's the best defensive tackle still on the board. Could really help out that Bears defense and help Ben Johnson get his team to the championship game.
Yeah. I can see. I mean, they could really go either way here. Defensive line is good. They need to replace their starting center, but I think you could do that mid-round. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, I mean, the Bears did lose Kevin Byard, but and Jaquan Brisker, so I feel like if he is still there, then I think they could take it, but I don't mind D lineman. Like we said earlier, trenches are the most important. All right, you get to pick another division rival, Jonah. The Buffalo Bills at 26.
The Buffalo Bills get to play the Jets twice. They beat the Jets by 27 with their backups last year.
Keep going.
Yeah. We have a little bit of a distraction in the booth, a little bit of a
Technical difficulty.
defensive shift. You know how they try and get the line to slip, but we're not going to do that. So trying to draw us off sides. Let's see. The Buffalo Bills. Let's see. You just picked who did you just pick?
Peter Woods.
Peter
That was a
Woods.
big distraction we just.
I'm going to go with Caden McDonald.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Old
too.
McDonald. All right.
Out of form.
All right.
Gonna have a tough time though going up against that. Going up against AVT and John Simpson and Josh Myers.
Yeah. All right, so the 49ers, they're at 27. Honestly, with the Trent Williams holdout and, whatever the heck's going on with his contract situation, plus he's not getting any younger, I think they're going to get the guy from Arizona State, Max Acher. I can't even say it. Max from Arizona State, the Sun Devil. So, and also I think, they definitely need some tackle help on that side when Trent Williams is gone. So, all right, Houston.
Yeah, this is interesting because, a lot of their needs are on, the offensive line, but a lot of them just came off the board, obviously. You just took probably the best one that was left. Certainly the best one that was left. And
Right.
It would be a little bit of a reach if they took another one here. You got some good wide receivers on the board, but they're pretty deep at the wide receiver position right now, I'd say. Do we take another defensive tackle here? I don't know. This is interesting. I might need to consult the panel for.
I think. Listen, they got. Defense. I don't think it's too much of an issue, but I think you could add some depth here. I think T.J. Parker and Caleb Banks. I think. I don't know if they necessarily need edge rushers though. I think Caleb Banks though. I think would be good because you definitely need some more nose tackles and run stuffers. Wide receiver. I don't think it's. I think you have a good amount of depth there. Running back, you have David Montgomery and Woody Marks. Dalton Schultz at tight end. Offensive line, you can probably wait a little longer to, invest in that. So I would say Caleb Banks. What would you say, Jonah?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. No, I was thinking defensive tackle, and there's a couple that's still on the board. Christian Miller is also still on the board.
Yeah, from Georgia.
Yeah. Let me make sure that I'm not reaching a little bit here for Caleb Banks. I don't think I am, but it does. It seems like Christian Miller is sort of the consensus.
Okay.
Higher pick, and
Wanna
I
go
don't
Miller?
I don't necessarily want to go off the make
It's a
the
little
chalk
reach,
picks,
but it's whatever.
yeah. I'm gonna say Christian Miller though.
Okay.
I'll take Christian Miller.
Perfect.
I'll listen to the experts.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now the Chiefs again at 29.
Yeah, Chiefs is obviously another interesting one. That obviously bad last year, but hoping to now compete right away. Wow, they have Justin Fields. I forgot about that.
Yeah, as their backup.
Quite incredible. Let's see. I'll go with
They need defensive backs. They could use a wide receiver.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Casey Concepcion.
I could see that happen.
Lucky guy.
I could see that happen. He is probably the best route runner out of all the wide receivers, outside of Cardinal Tate. So,
Yeah, Ruben Bain and Casey Concepcion to the Chiefs.
I know.
That's scary.
that I could definitely see that happen. Okay, Ryan, I'm gonna give you the Dolphins pick because the Patriots are right after. So
We're gonna trade.
We're gonna trade.
Yeah.
Take this one for me.
Yeah, well, the Dolphins missed out on a wide receiver earlier, and again, they've got another good one here on the board. So I think we go back-to-back wide receivers here. Pretty clean cut. I think they take Omar Cooper Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that they lost Jalen Waddle, obviously. That's definitely a position they need a lot of help with. Someone to throw the ball to for Malik Willis. And I think Omar Cooper, again, the best guy on the board, showed a lot of talent over at Indiana with Fernando Mendoza. And, we'll see if he can do the same thing with Malik Willis.
All right, fair enough. All right, so now the Patriots are on the board at 31, finally. I'm going to be quite frank. Like, if KC Concepcion is on the board, then I really want the Patriots to take him because they definitely need an outside guy. But I also think that edge rusher is definitely a big need. I mean, they lost Kayvon Chason. They lost a few key guys on their defense. I mean, Harold Landry and Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, I mean, they're solid players, but they're veterans, and I think they need more youth, and I think they're going to need to, make sure that, they don't have to rely on, their older guns. So I'm going to go with Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. I think he could definitely be a huge boost. I mean, he had a great few years with Texas A&M. I mean, they could go with C.J. Allen, but I think, you already have Spillane and Christian Ellis, so I don't think you need to worry about the linebacker room too much. And, they signed Kevin Byard to help out, Craig Woodson. And I don't really think they need any more corners. So, I'm going to go with Howell. Now the Seattle Seahawks with the final pick.
Yeah, do the honors.
Final
Jonah.
pick, obviously.
Let's give it to our
won the
guest.
Super Bowl. Obviously, they totally shut down Drake May and company in the Super Bowl, so you wouldn't think they need help on defense.
We
but
get it.
I'm going to go with Colton Hood.
That's what I was going to go with, actually.
How about that? Look at that. What a way to end it.
Yeah. Why Colton Hood, though?
Because, it's defense, it's cornerback, Tennessee, same school Peyton Manning went to. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and plus they did lose Reek Woolen, so you're gonna need to get another outside corner. But that concludes the mock draft.
Nice.
PFF didn't give me a grade, even though they said they would, which sucks. But I think we did a pretty solid job here.
I like the Jets draft. Jets pass rush instantly transformed.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we did the teams justice, gave everybody what they needed and what they wanted, and. Hopefully we're pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, we have 4 straight Ohio State guys from 4th through 7th. 22 and 23, we got Utah. 24 and 25, we got Clemson. So there's going to be quite a few pipelines here.
Jeremiah Love not taken until pick 18.
I know.
Interesting.
Big win for the Vikings. I think that's sort of the takeaway from our mock draft.
Easily.
That's what happens. They're the big winners of the night. And the Chiefs probably, too, unfortunately.
Well, folks, that just about wraps it up. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe
Thanks
for
for having
additional
me, fellas.
content.
Yeah, thanks
Jonah,
for coming on,
thank you
Jonah.
for coming on to the show. You've been an absolute blast.
Looking forward to next time.
Absolutely. There will be a next time. Don't worry.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Come back anytime, Jonah.
Absolutely.
And Colin, my condolences for what happened in the Super Bowl, by the way.
I mean, 2 months too late, but it's all right.
What about what happened in the wild card game?
I mean, we already gave you your condolences, okay?
All right.
All right.